For mountain pose, we'll step our feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Taking a deep breath in, we'll exhale, bringing our chin to our chest, and we'll begin to slowly lower one vertebrae at a time, allowing our arms and our head to dangle freely. As we get closer to the ground, we'll bend our knees, fully releasing the tension in our lower back and our upper back. We'll shake our head side to side, make sure we're not holding any tension in our necks or our shoulder. We can sway our hips side to side and just move around in the pose. Let's come into all fours, stacking our wrists beneath our shoulders, our knees beneath our hips, fingertips spread wide with a slight bend in our elbow. Moving into cat-cow, we'll inhale, dipping our bellies down. Exhale, scooping our bellies up. Inhale into cow. Exhaling into cat, feeling the stretch between our shoulder blades. We'll continue moving through this at our own pace. Feeling free to really articulate through each vertebrae, feeling our spine and the muscles surrounding it begin to loosen. Let's release back to a neutral spine, and we'll just shake our hips side to side, releasing any tension in our lower backs. We'll spread our knees wide, and we're going to begin to push our tailbone towards our heels, allowing our bellies to fall between our thighs, stretching our arms out long. And if we'd like to feel a little bit more of a stretch in our shoulders and our upper back, we can come to the tips of our fingertips, making a little bit of a teepee with our hands. And when we're ready, we'll release. We'll come back up onto our forearms, and we're going to take our right arm and thread it behind our left, bringing our cheek to rest on the ground. We'll take our left arm and place it at the base of our spine. Holding here and breathing. And we'll release, pushing back into a wide-legged child's pose once again. Sitting back up, we'll thread the left arm behind the right, allowing our left cheek to rest on the ground, bringing our right hand to the base of our spine. Let's release and make our way up to a seated position, comfortably crossing our legs. We can feel free to sit on a stacked blanket here. It'll help open our hips if we need to. And on our inhale, we're going to sweep our arms overhead, interlacing our fingertips. And we'll slowly lower ourselves to the right, making sure that we're keeping both sit bones on the ground, and keeping our shoulders open towards the front. We'll inhale, coming back up to center. And exhale, lowering to the left. Stretching up and out of our chest, up and out of our hips. Coming back to center, bringing our hands to prayer. We're going to move into eagle arms here. So we're going to take our right arm bent in front of us at a 90-degree angle. Our left arm goes under and around our forearm, fingertips touching palms if possible. Hold here, feeling the stretch in our shoulder blades. And let's release. We're going to repeat the same pose on the opposite side. Our left arm comes out to a 90-degree angle. Our right arm goes underneath and around our forearm, fingertips to palms. Breathing deep into the stretch between our shoulder blades and our upper back. We'll release. We're going to inhale, extending our spine tall and long, and exhale, slowly hinging at the hips forward. And when we've reached our max, we'll allow our head and our chest to fold over our lower half of our body, bringing our hands to the ground if that's comfortable. Just really sinking and surrendering to this posture. Let's slowly begin to raise ourselves back up to a seated position. We're going to take our right leg and extend it out long, flexing through our foot, and our left leg hops over the side of our right knee. We'll grab our left knee with our right arm, bringing our belly button towards our thigh, sweeping our left arm up and over behind us for a seated spinal twist, remembering that the twist begins at the base of our spine moving up, so we're careful not to twist our neck or crane our head too far over our shoulder if the rest of our spine isn't following. You may feel a stretch and openness in our glutes and our hips and a release in our back. Let's release and we'll repeat that same sequence on the other side, stretching our left leg out long, our right leg hops over our left knee, wrapping our left arm around that right knee, sweeping our right arm up and over behind us, pulling the belly button to the spine, pressing it against that right thigh, and breathing. We'll take one more breath, and we'll release. And we're going to make our way to the floor here. So with knees pointing towards the sky, let's grab the backs of our thighs and slowly roll down onto our backs, one vertebrae at a time, using the strength in our abs to get us there. We'll bring our knees into our chest, and with our hands on top of our knees, we'll slowly begin to make circles, massaging our lower back on the ground. Beginning first, rolling one way, and then switching and rolling in the opposite direction. We can continue to move here, or if we'd like, we can take Happy Baby, spreading our legs open, lifting our feet up, and grabbing the insides of our soles, rocking back and forth. This opens our hip and also our lower back. We'll release our feet back down to the ground, moving into bridge. Planting our feet firmly on the earth, our hands at our sides, we'll lift our hips up to the sky, using our glutes and our legs to hold us in position. And if we'd like, we can begin to pin our left shoulder and our right shoulder underneath of us, and maybe interlace our hands underneath of our body, remembering to breathe to our bellies. We'll slowly release our hips to the ground, once again, one vertebrae at a time. We're going to take our right leg, cross it over top of our left, and very slowly begin to drop both of our knees to the left, keeping both of our shoulders on the ground. Now, if we were to look up very quickly, we would see that our nose is in line with our right hip. You may need to scooch your hips back towards the right a little bit more. When you twist, we tend to rotate our hips to the left. And if you're having trouble releasing your legs fully to the ground, you can always stack a block underneath of your legs or a blanket if that's comfortable. Using our core, we'll begin lifting our legs back to center. We're going to take our left leg, crossing it over our right, and again begin to slowly drop the knees to the right side of our body, making sure that our shoulders both stay on the ground. Our nose is in line with our hip, shifting our hips back as is necessary. We'll take one last deep breath, and again, using our core, we'll bring our knees back to center. Now here we're going to move into plow. So if it's in your practice, feel free to move along with me. If not, stop wherever is most comfortable for you. We'll lift our hips up into bridge, and we'll slowly bring our feet closer to our glutes, coming to the tips of our toes. We'll bring our palms underneath of our hips and our elbows in, letting our hips rest here. And if we're ready, we'll bring our knees towards our chest, lifting our legs to the sky, and then slowly dip our toes behind us. If you can touch the ground behind your head, that's awesome. If not, or if there's an obstruction such as a children's toy like I have here, go as far as you can. Really feeling the stretch in your shoulders and in your upper back. And slowly lowering one vertebrae at a time, we'll bring our hips back down to the ground. Now to counter this, we're going to move into fish pose. We'll make a diamond shape with our hands and place that directly underneath of our tailbone. We're going to straighten both of our legs out long, pointing our toes. Sitting up, we'll bring our elbows in underneath of our body. Lifting our chest to the sky, we'll drop our head to rest on our mat if possible, maybe on a block, or just dangling free. Don't fade on me. When we're ready, we're going to use our core to pull our chest and our body back up to a seated position, releasing the pin we had on our elbows and our hands, sitting tall and proud of today's practice.